There are places in this world where silence is not empty, but full of screams that no one hears. The asylum on Blackwood Hill was once home to the broken, the forgotten, the mad. Hundreds lived and died behind its walls, and though it closed 50 years ago, it never truly emptied. Tonight, you will hear the story of the last investigation into Blackwood Asylum, a story buried because it was too horrifying to be believed. Four urban explorers went inside one stormy night. They wanted thrill, adventure, a video to shock their followers. The asylum greeted them with silence. Peeling paint, rotting floors, graffiti on the walls, but under it all were the faint sounds of footsteps, not theirs. Every corridor seemed to stretch forever. Every door they opened led to darker rooms. And on the walls, they found patient files scattered across the floor. Each one ended with the same note. Patient vanished. No body recovered. At first, the explorers thought the place was empty, but the cameras caught what their eyes could not. Figures standing in the corners, unmoving, faces staring from broken mirrors, and voices whispering names they should not know. One room was filled with wheelchairs, arranged in a perfect circle. Another had restraints bolted to the floor, stained with something dark. In the children's ward, tiny handprints covered the walls, as if dozens of children tried to claw their way out. And always, the sound of breathing right behind them. When they turned, nothing. When they ran, the breathing followed. In the basement, they found the forbidden wing, a place not on any blueprint. Behind a rusted iron door was a stairwell, descending deep into the earth. The deeper they went, the colder it became. The walls dripped with water, their lights flickered, and something moved in the dark ahead of them. Old cells lined the hallway. Inside were beds, restraints, and scratch marks covering every surface. But the strangest thing was the writing. Thousands of words scrawled into the stone with fingernails. She is here. She is hungry. She never sleeps. They entered a chamber that should not exist. A vast room beneath the asylum, filled with broken statues and strange markings. At the center was a chair, straps still buckled, and on the ground, a circle burned into the stone. The air grew heavy. One by one, their equipment failed. And then, the voices came. Not whispers, not distant, but screaming, hundreds of voices all around them, filling the chamber. One explorer collapsed, clutching their head. When they looked up again, their eyes were not their own. They spoke in a voice that did not belong to them. You came to see us. Now you stay. They tried to escape, but every hallway led back to the same place. Every door opened into another endless corridor. The asylum was no longer a building. It was alive. It shifted, twisted, trapping them in its body. Their screams echoed through the halls, swallowed by the darkness. No one outside ever saw them again. Only the footage remained. Weeks later, a maintenance worker found a single tape outside the asylum gates. It contained 3 hours of footage, but watching it came with a warning. Those who saw the tape began hearing voices. They dreamed of endless corridors, and some claimed, when they closed their eyes, they were back inside the asylum. The footage ends with a single line, carved into the wall of the final frame. The asylum has no exit. It only expands. The Blackwood Asylum was demolished years ago, but those who live near the hill say they still see lights at night, and sometimes the sound of doors slamming shut deep underground. If you ever dream of endless hallways, of doors that won't open, of screams echoing just out of sight, don't go back to sleep because the asylum is still there, waiting